This is Goku-san DBZ, and welcome back for a new best to worst list that I'll be starting actually with, in my opinion, the weakest to the strongest. This will be on music albums. And this time around, of the artists of choice, I thought I'd choose male music in the background because this is a metal band. And that is, in my opinion, the best to worst, or rather worst to best, Disturbed albums. With that said, we'll start off of these 7 normal albums. Coming in at number 7, in my opinion, is the weakest album. This was actually their 6th released album in 2011, and it's called The Lost Children. Now, the song that I distinctively remember best off of this album is what really convinced me to end up buying the album, though I ended up liking maybe 3 or 4 songs off the actual album as a whole. Still enjoy them. Songs like Hell, songs like Midlife Crisis, or their cover of Living After Midnight, formerly of course Judas Priest, obviously. And overall, good album. Well, to an extent, but it's by far the weakest album that Disturbed has put out. But songs like Hell and Midlife Crisis stand out to me. I know most people automatically think of Hell, obviously, with the album. I think Midlife Crisis is sadly one of the more overlooked songs off this particular album. Coming in at number 6, in my opinion, is their 2nd studio album. I know it's beloved by many, Believe, but I'm sorry, there's only a selected few songs off this album that really stand out for me personally. Prayer is a good one that stands out to me. Liberate, specifically a song that showed me also the softer voice of David, which is of course The Darkness, which is a song that really does stand out to me, and it's a nice on occasion to actually see a hard band do a softer, soothing song. Though the actual lyrics are definitely anything but very peaceful overall. That's the thing, you have to look, you can't just judge it by the music itself. You have to look at the lyric rhyme as well. Coming in at number 5, in my personal opinion, is their 4th studio album. And that being released in 2008, and that is their album Indestructible, which was actually the 2nd album I ever purchased of the band. I didn't really start listening to Disturbed until probably around 2006 or so time frame. So it was about, 6 years into their career before I started checking out their music. A friend actually referred me to check out. And around that time frame, I became a fan, and I definitely enjoyed this album, Indestructible. Songs like Indestructible, personal favorite song off the album is Criminal. Coming in at number 4 is actually their debut album, is my 4th favorite. I understand why many people love this album because it was their debut. It wasn't the first album, though, from the band I personally listened to. Of course, released in 2000. Number 4 is The Sickness, which, of course, had songs like Down With The Sickness, songs like Stricken, or how about songs like The Game or Voices. And, of course, their version cover of Shout from Tears for Fears. Really good cover in general, though it's called Shout 2000. But overall, I really enjoyed this album. Songs like, definitely for me, I think one of the songs that really sticks out to me the most is a song like The Game. And I think it's probably because of knowing from one of the Dragon Ball Z movies, Cooler's Revenge, if I remember correctly, was the song, which they played it when Cooler transformed into his ultimate form. And coming in at number 3 for me personally is their 2010 album, their 5th studio album, and that is Asylum. Specifically because of songs like Asylum, or other songs that really stand out to me from this album are definitely songs like The Animal. Also, other songs that really stand out to me off this album, I would have to say probably maybe my number 2, if not my number 1 favorite song of all time, is off this specific album, and that is the song... I hate when I forget names of songs all of a sudden. But anyways, it's an overall really good album, and I highly recommend Asylum if you haven't ever listened to actually this specific album from Disturbed. Definitely worth checking out. It's a very solid album overall. Coming in at number 2 is their 7th studio album released in 2015, and that being Immortalized. Comes in at number 2 favorite album for me personally off this. And I think the song that really stands out to me off this album, oh yeah, now I'm here, the name of the song, Another Way to Die. Easily one of my favorite songs, but this album did a great job with songs like Immortalized, songs like The Vengeful One, The Light. Specific favorite song is actually the cover of course, the classic song from Simon and Garfunkel, and of course that being The Sound of Silence. It is literally a masterpiece. In my opinion, it's the best cover that Disturbed has ever done of any song. It was also cool, Simon and Garfunkel actually gave their blessing to David to do the cover and stuff, and that actually meant a lot to him as an artist, because it's not often that artists will give you their blessing or support to do a cover of one of their true classics. But I like, honestly, Disturbed's cover better over Simon Garfunkel's version, because you feel more raw emotion and different feelings from David's version over the original Simon Garfunkel, which is just more mellow and peaceful. But that's the kind of music that they did pretty much their entire careers. Plus the time period was like a hippie age, to be fair. But in my personal opinion, I think, yeah, this is probably my second favorite music cover of all time. Second only to John Cash's cover of Hurt. Coming in at number 1, which was released in 2005, this is the album that got me into the band. This was the first album I ever bought and owned and listened to in full. And that is 10,000 Fists, comes in at number 1. In my opinion, the best album from the band as a whole. Songs like 10,000 Fists, songs like Overburdened, good song. Love their cover of Genesis' song Land of Confusion. I think their cover's better than Genesis' version. And for some reason, when Genesis sings, a lot of their songs remind me more of somebody like Phil Collins for some reason. Don't ask me why. But as a whole, this is my favorite album, period, off of Disturbed, out of their discography. But that's in my personal opinion, keep in mind, so take that for what it's worth. Tell me though, what is your favorite Disturbed album? What's your favorite tracks from Disturbed? In general, what cover, what album was it that made you a fan of the band? What was the first one you bought, purchased, and listened to? I'm curious. How many out there, like me, was their first album, their 2005 third studio album, 10,000 Fists? I'm curious to hear back, and I'll see you all next time. Same YouTube time, same YouTube channel, and I hope you enjoyed the music in the background from, of course, Killer Instinct. Currently, the main boss theme from Gargos. See you later.